There are days when I get stressed out, feel unmotivated, and enter a vegetative state that can be hard to snap out of. And as a medical student, this happens a lot more often than I'd like to admit. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing 5 strategies I use to overcome procrastination and get out of a productivity slump. So the first tip that I use is to create something that I like to call a motivation totem. So a motivation totem is an object that helps me feel grounded and helps me feel, obviously, motivated. And it can be something that reminds you of a time that you've overcome something challenging or something that helps you gain perspective on things. These days, my totems are my stethoscope and my student ID because I know all of the hard work it took to get me where I am now. Sometimes I'll just place these on my desk to remind myself that no matter how difficult things may get, I'm capable of getting through them. My stethoscope wasn't always my motivation totem, though. Before starting medical school, I kept a mason jar on my desk with bills and coins from countries I visited and ticket stubs from bucket list activities that helped serve as a reminder for me that there's a world of possibility out there. Your totem can be something like a graduation tassel or even a good fortune you received in a fortune cookie, just as long as it gives you inspiration and keeps you motivated to keep going. And my second tip is to decide what the minimum viable outputs of your life are. In business, there's this concept of the minimum viable product. It's the messiest, most imperfect version of a final product that you could put out there. And I feel like when I get stressed or overwhelmed, it's easy to call it quits and end up throwing a whole day away. And I find the best way to overcome this is by deciding beforehand what the minimal viable products of my life's biggest goals are. And I do this by keeping a hierarchy of tasks related to my goals that I can do depending on my energy and focus level. And so for me, that looks a little something like this. On 10 out of 10 days, I can do all of my foundational tasks. So those are things like watching lecture, taking notes, creating study materials. And on not so great days, I may only be able to watch a lecture and take notes. On even crummier days, I may only be able to watch the lectures assigned for that day. And on really tough days, I may only be able to muster enough energy to watch a 5-minute video on the lecture topic that day. And that's okay because I've already defined them out in my hierarchy. The key is to learn how to slow down, but never to quit. My third tip is to choose the path of least resistance. When you're feeling stuck or overwhelmed, it's easy to come up with 1,001 things you need to do and get crippled by fear and wind up just doing nothing. Trust me, I've been there and it's not pretty. But what if I told you there's an easier way? What if it truly wasn't all or nothing? What if you could just simply choose the path of least resistance? For me, that might look like, instead of spending 8 hours glued to my textbook and my laptop, choosing the laziest route to get to where I need to be. That includes doing things like having Siri read my textbook out loud to me,
cholesterol stones radiolucent with 10-20,
asking a friend to explain the concept to me in the simplest way possible, or choosing to draw out something instead of do practice problems. The fourth tip I have is to change locations. You have no idea how many times just changing my space has given me the boost of energy that I need to get through the day. Having a tidy, organized space to do work is crucial, but also having 2 to 3 backup spots to get work done is also key. I like to switch from my home office to maybe like a comfy chair or the kitchen counter whenever I feel a productivity slump coming along, and I find this has really helped me boost my energy levels. And my fifth and final tip is to do nothing. I know it seems counterintuitive, but it's really important to have time to completely rest and recharge. Even as a medical student, I still find days to veg out and give myself a chance to completely disconnect. And you know what usually happens is that I wake up feeling refreshed and motivated the next day. So throw yourself that pity party and give yourself a break. A day off followed by a day working at 100% capacity is a lot better than 2 days of working at 30% capacity back to back. I hope you found these tips helpful. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button to see more of these, and give this video a thumbs up while you're at it. Let me know in the comments below your favorite ways to get out of a productivity slump and what tips you guys have for each other to maintain motivation. See you in the next one.